you are anything like me, you are two things: a sports fan and an absolute nerd who loves math. I hate math, I love it. Uh, and like my most played video games are 2K College Basketball '09, Balatro, and Google Sheets. I hate Google Sheets. Uh, Also, if you're like me, you're thinking two things. It's week five. Yippee sound effect. And how absolutely fucked my team is, or absolutely fucked my team is going to be. And as a Detroit sports fan, that is my entire life. Where if anything can go wrong, it will go wrong, and I'm always thinking the second thing. Um, so I decided to look at the record at the end of week four for every team since the introduction of the 17 game season in 2021, and looked at three things. Did the How many of those teams made the playoffs? How far did they make it into the playoffs, and around where their pick was in the draft? Before I start, I must say all stats are pulled from Pro Football Reference, and I don't know how to I don't know how to use it well. So there might be a few errors. For tiny bit, the 2024 Tampa Bay Buccaneers and 2024 Washington Commanders were not in my numbers, and I didn't notice that until near the end. So there might be a few teams that show up as 2-2 or like 1-3 or something like that that aren't, and I'm sorry for that. Um, but I am going to start with the best teams, the ones that started 4-0, and that being the 2024 Kansas City Chiefs, the 2024 Minnesota Vikings, the 2023 49ers, the 2023 and 2022 Philadelphia Eagles, as well as the 2021 Arizona Cardinals. This year, there will be two teams that are going to be joining them that are starting 4-0. Those teams are the Buffalo Bills and Philadelphia Eagles, um, which is very good considering that the six total teams all made the playoffs, with three of them losing in the first round and three of the teams losing the Super Bowl. The three teams that made it to the Super Bowl are the 2022 Eagles, the 2023 49ers, and the 2024 Kansas City Chiefs. And depending on how you take that, it could be very good news or very bad news for the Bills and Eagles, because each team ends up in so uh close to wait oh um all right, depending on how you take that, it could be good or bad news for the Bills and Eagles. um Getting to the draft, because each team ends so close to one another, the picks the teams get in the draft were right next to each other, with three of them being the 31st pick and the bottom three being 22, 23, and 24. The next group of teams we'll be looking at are the 3-1 teams that will be joined by the Lions, the Colts, the Jaguars, and the Steelers, and five others. The Colts and Jaguars kind of weird. There are 33 teams that went 3-1, with seven of them missing the playoffs, eight losing the wild card, 10 losing the divisional, four losing the conference finals, and one team, the Cincinnati Bengals, losing in the Super Bowl. And three teams winning the Super Bowl, being the Chiefs in 2022 and 2023, and the Rams in 2021. When it comes to draft picks, 11 different teams have had a pick from pick 28 to 32. 10 teams have picked between 23 and 27. Six teams have picked between 17 and 22. Four teams have picked uh, between 11 and 16, and only two teams have picked in the top 10, with no team picking in the top 5. Also, here's a quick reminder that the Jaguars don't actually have their own first pick this year. I believe neither do the Falcons, and there's one other team. I'm going to look that up. And when I say that team had that pick, I'm saying that actually, oh, I deleted my. When I say that team had that pick, that is their original pick. So the 2021 Rams, they would have had the 32nd pick. The Lions then had that pick because of the Matthew Stafford trade. All right. Yes. We now have the 2-2 teams or the 2-win teams. There have yet to be, excluding the Packers of this year, there's yet to be a 2-1-1 team. The Packers this year are that 2-1-1 team, so we don't have any data of them yet. Those teams that will be joining our 2-win teams are, as I said, the Packers, the Falcons, the Chiefs, the Commanders, and 6 other teams. There are 27 2-win teams, with 27 of them missing the playoffs, which is around 57% of the teams. 20 teams making the playoffs, with 11 of those teams losing in the wild card, which is 23% of teams, 23.4% of teams, with 4 losing in the divisional round at 8.5% of teams, as well as 4 losing in the conference championship, and 1 team, the Philadelphia Eagles, winning the Super Bowl at 2.1% of teams, that being the 2024 Eagles, which is the only winning Eagles team that is on this. When it comes to the draft, 4 teams picked between 28 and 32 at 8.5%. 8 teams in the draft at pick 23 to 27 at 17%. 10 teams have had picks from 17 to 22 at 21.3%, and 11 teams had picks between 11 and 16 at 23.4%, as well as 9 teams have had picks ranging from 6 to 10 at 22%, and 4 teams have drafted top 5 at 8.5%, with 1 team drafting first overall. I forgot who that was. Next we have 1-win teams that will be joined by the Cowboys, Ravens, Browns, and 5 other teams. Out of the 36 teams that have started with 1 win, only 4 have made the playoffs at 11.1%, with 32 teams, or 88.9% of teams, missing the playoffs. 3 of those 4 teams have lost in the wild card, those being the 2021 Patriots, Steelers, and Eagles, which make up 8.3% of teams with 1 win. There has also been only 1 team to make the divisional, being the 2024 Rams, being 2.8% of 1-win teams. In the draft, only the Rams have had a pick from 23 to 27, 7 teams picking between 17 and 22 at 19.4%, 9 teams picking between 11 and 16 at 25% of teams, 8 teams drafting between 6 to 10 at 22.2% of teams, 22% of the time, and 11 teams drafting at the top 5 at 30.6% of the time. Now, last and definitely least, we have the 6 0-win teams, which will be joined by the Saints, Jets, and Titans. All 0-win teams failed to make the playoffs, and the closest team being the 2024 Chicago Bears, which had an ending record at 7-10. Being the only team to not draft in the top 5, they drafted at 9th overall. The other teams are the 2024 Jags, which picked 5th overall, the 2022 Texans, and the 2021 Lions, which picked 2nd overall, and the 2023 Panthers and 2021 Jaguars having the 1st overall pick. So the question is, what did we learn today? And the answer is really nothing, actually, because this is a very small set of data. Little do we know the Saints can win the Super Bowl and the Eagles can be drafting 1st overall. But actually, we did learn one thing, and that is the Jaguars suck, and all 4-0 teams will be doomed to losing the Super Bowl or the wild card. I hope you have a nice day, and go Lions.